We can access a range of characters using slicing. If we want to cut a substring from a string, this is known as string slicing. We can access a range of items in a string by using the slicing operator colon, and this is how the syntax for slicing looks like. Say for example, I want to retrieve the characters U, N, T, R from the string country. This is how we construct the slice. The first index number is where the slice starts. So we want to begin the slicing at the character U, which is inclusive. And the second index number is where the slice ends, exclusive. So when I say the second index number is 6, the slicing stops here and it is going to exclude the character Y, that is the index number 6. So the output would be U, N, T, R. Let's check the slicing functionality in the Jupyter Notebook. Let's define a string, and like we discussed, we will slice the string from the index 2 up to index 6 exclusive. So as you can see here, the original string str1 has been sliced from index 2 to index 6 excluding. Now say for example I would want to retrieve all of the characters in the string, then I could give something like this. If we remove both of the indexes and include the colon in between the square brackets, this would retrieve all of the characters in the string. So this would give me all of the characters. Now, if I want to retrieve, say for example, characters up until index 4, in that case, I can leave the first index as blank or 0, and then the output would be C O U N, because this excludes the index number 4, which is T. Next, if I want to retrieve the characters beginning from the third index number, in that case I can give the first index as 3 and leave the second index as blank. This would give me T R Y. So let's see this in the Jupyter Notebook. So in order to retrieve all of the characters in the string, within the square brackets I include the colon with the first and the second index numbers as blank. So this retrieves all the characters. Now say for example I want to retrieve all of the characters beginning from the index 3. So I would give the index 3 here as the first index number and leave out the second index number. So slicing begins with the at index number 3 and retrieves all of the characters until the end of the string. Say now I want to retrieve the characters beginning from the 0th index up until the index 5. So in that case, I'm going to leave out the first index number and enter the second index number 6. And instead of leaving the first index number as blank, you can also enter 0, meaning you want to retrieve beginning from the 0th index. So the result remains the same. Another feature of slicing is extended slicing. Say, for example, I would like to retrieve every other character, the index number 0 up until the index number 5. So I want to retrieve the characters C, U, and T. So how do we do that? And this is the syntax for the extended slice. The first index number refers to where the slicing begins. The second index number refers to where the slicing ends. And the third parameter here is known as a stride, and this refers to how many characters to move forward after the first character is retrieved from the string. So in our case, we are going to retrieve every other character, every second character from the first character. This would give me the output as C, U, T. By default, this parameter would be 1, which means it retrieves all of the characters beginning from 0th index. Let's see how the extended slice works in the Jupyter notebook. So this is a string 1, and I'm going to begin the slicing from index 0. So begins, since it is index 0, you can either enter 0 or leave it as a blank. The second index number is 5. So the slicing ends at 5, character 5. And the third parameter is the stride parameter, and we are going to enter 2, which means we are going to retrieve every other character. So execute it. So this is the output. Let us say I want to retrieve all of the characters between 0 and 5, and I'm going to enter the stride parameter as 1. Execute. So it has retrieved all of the characters. Now let us omit the stride parameter. So enter your first and second index numbers. So the output is the same as this when the stride parameter has been given as 1. This means Python defaults to the stride of 1 so that every character between the two index numbers is retrieved. This is about slicing.